Hello, my very patient viewers. It's been probably about a year since I've posted a video blog type thing. So I'm going to try to nail a few of them, get a couple of them out right now while I'm at work, while I have a little bit of time. First off, what have I been up to? Last time you saw was Mary and I think at the time I had spent one day on the TV show Lost, so I was just getting started. I ended up getting onto that, and it wasn't too long before I was on full-time, and I was able to get Mary on there as well. She actually started out doing a lot of work at first on a TV show from Noggin called Beyond the Break. But as time went on, she ended up jumping on to also being full-time on Lost. At the end of the season, I got kind of an invitation to do an interview for another movie that was coming, but it would mean I'd have to leave Lost early. And I wasn't going to do that at first because I enjoyed working on Lost. It was a really fun show. Everything in Hawaii that I've worked on has had a really great cast and crew, and people have been very easy to become friends with. So I didn't really want to leave. And then I found out that this movie starred Kristen Bell, who I fell in love with, like everybody on Veronica Mars. Anybody that's seen Veronica Mars, I think, is a fan of hers. So, and I had just been saying how I really wasn't sure why she wasn't in more movies, because she's obviously a very good actress. And that movie, of course, was Forgetting Sarah Marshall. So they were only hiring 2 PAs, which is a very small number for a feature film. So I really didn't think I was going to get it, and Mary interviewed as well, and I thought chances are neither of us are going to get it, but who knows. I did end up getting on it, and Mary was a part-timer on it as well. She did end up working a lot as an additional, because when you're shooting in the lobby of Turtle Bay Resort, which is a real resort in Hawaii, there was a lot of variables, a lot of things to control. So quite often we needed more people, and by the end I think we had 4 full-timers. That show was fun. I was hired by a guy who shares the same name that I do. He's Gary Scott Markus, to my Scott Markus, and I got to work with a lot of really fun people on that show. Jason Segel, who wrote it and starred in it, he was that approachable. I felt like we were friends on the first day of shooting. But you know, Kristen also was very approachable, so far that she was the one that approached me to introduce herself. And speaking of which, Evangeline Lilly did that also on Lost. And so I'm always really impressed when these actors don't take it for granted that everybody knows who they are. They actually are the ones to go and shake hands and, you know, try to work the room a little bit and introduce themselves. That scores points. Anyway, once Forgetting Sarah Marshall, actually on the first day of filming for Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I got a call from a buddy of mine, Mikey Eberly, saying that The Dark Knight was about to start shooting and they wanted some PAs. Now, of course, I was dying to work on that movie. I wasn't going to leave Hawaii for that, especially because Forgetting Sarah Marshall was a hilarious script, so I knew it was going to end up being a fun movie. But as luck would have it, once Forgetting Sarah Marshall ended, I came back to Chicago, and that's right when they were really ramping up doing a lot of stunt work. So those were days where they needed a lot of PAs. And I was an additional PA for, I don't know, probably the better part of a month. You know, it's just a small sliver of the movie overall, but you know, on the first day I was there, we blew up a police car underneath Wacker Drive. I won't talk about specific things because I'm sure I would get sued pretty quickly. So after The Dark Knight wrapped in Chicago, I kind of went back to my job I do off and on here in the Chicago area all the time, which is Zany's Comedy Club. I love comedy. I grew up watching Carson as a little kid. And so I absolutely love working here at the Comedy Club. It's a great place. I've met a lot of my heroes. Richard Jenny is one of the guys I really grew up watching and loved his stuff. Actually, I came to Zany's one day as a customer and saw his show, and then that night asked for an application, and then started work the next week. And my first night was Emo Phillips, and then the night after that was Lewis Black. So it's been really remarkable, the number of great people I've been able to work with and meet, and I'm very thankful that I was able to meet Richard Jenny while he was still around. Dave Attell, of course, from Insomniac, and Brian Regan, who is really huge right now. Bobby Slayton, Greg Giraldo is one of my very favorites, so if you ever get a chance to see him live, definitely do it. I was also able to work with Mitch Hedberg. But in the meantime, I've been working on, I'm trying to package a movie. I don't know if I should say anything about it yet. We do have some names attached that you guys would have heard of. But until, I think we will at some point be putting a video together specifically about that project. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll try not to make it another year before I do a video update.